grandmother, Mrs. Otabor, has fled her home in Benin City after allegedly arranging an illegal abortion for a 15-year-old granddaughter. The teenager was allegedly raped and impregnated by self-proclaimed prophet Paul Lawani, who is 70 years old and has since been arrested. The victim revealed Prophet Lawani, who owns a church on Iyede Street, sexually abused her after she ran an errand for him in August of 2024. Lawani allegedly forced her to take an oath of secrecy at the altar, threatening her with death if she told anyone. The victim confided in her grandmother, who later noticed pregnancy symptoms. The grandmother then brought in a local nurse who confirmed a 2-month pregnancy and performed an abortion to conceal the crime. Worried by the cover-up, the victim eventually told a neighbor who alerted the police, leading to Lawani's arrest. Upon arrest, Prophet Lawani admitted to knowing the victim but refused to provide details about the illicit act. The victim's grandfather, Jeremiah Otabor, pledged full cooperation with the police in prosecuting Lawani, whom he described as a criminal. Edo State Police Command spokesperson CSP Moses Yamu confirmed Lawani's arrest and stated that the case is under investigation by the command's family unit. He assured the public that the outcome of the investigation will be made known soon. I mean, you know that usually people, so many questions with this particular report. The grandfather didn't know that the man was a criminal. Why didn't he report sooner, right? The grandmother, why was she complicit in all of this? Why did need to, cover it? And now this child is now, got pregnant, bringing in a nurse to, have an abortion on the child. So many questions. But first, let's get your thoughts on this report.
I don't know where else to start, other than starting from the fact that, personally, I feel religion is a cover for some people out there that self-acclaim, or like the report is self-proclaimed men of God and clerics, in generality. And this is just one of the situations. And then again, from the other angle, I can only see the concept of patriarchal influence. Because when I look at this report, the thing that comes to mind is, now your daughter or granddaughter rather came to you and confided in you, which is like the only thing you could have done. Who else could say have confided in? I told you, oh, this person, assaulted me sexually, and most likely she's pregnant, right? And all of that. And the only thing you could think of was an abortion. It just goes to show the level of illiteracy, the level of how much religion, the negative impact of religion. But in this era we live in, there are lots of negative impacts of religion in our society. And it happens because many people feel these men of God, or so-called men of God, are not to be checked. And from the report, it was said that, oh, they took her daughter on the altar. She might have thought, because of that, she's trying to protect her daughter and whatnot. But we need to wake up to the reality that these men of God in general, are human beings first. They are not spirits. They are not perfect. They are human beings first, before they are even men, before they are, husbands or fathers, before they are even men of God. So the reason why I put it in this order is because we have to attain some level of morality to even be these things. To be a law-abiding citizen, you need to have some level of morality.
Right.
To be a father, to be a husband, talk less of being a pastor. So some people just once you meet a man of God, you just throw yourself at their legs and you lose every common sense you have. And these things happen a lot. I think some weeks back, or even not a month, I don't know the name of the pastor, but one was accused of this same thing. And I think he went on for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And when the man was eventually released, I always feel, of course, beyond reasonable doubt, someone has to prove and all of that. But nowadays, the way I feel nowadays is, most men of God are even prone to doing these things, like I said, because they feel like religion and the position they hold, it always, cover them. Right? You hear stories like, oh, this kid went to church or went to run an errand and she was raped. When she tells that story, everybody will wind you up and scream and all of that. Then when they eventually arrest the pastor or the man of God, after a few weeks, the person will be released. And you and I both know they would always say, oh, no witnesses, and all of that and all of that. I think the other case, they said something about the girl already having sexual relations with other people in the first place. So does that justify that? Does that make it okay that she was supposedly raped or allegedly raped by a pastor? So and the scary part of all of this was when this man came back to his church, you should see the celebration, and like I said, I'm not saying we should throw stones and whatnot, but I expect that people are supposed to sit back and begin to do some critical thinking, right? Where do we even know this man from? It's possible he did this. You can't just 100% rule out the fact that he did it just because he's a man of God.
Right.
Like I said, we are all human beings first. We are all men, we are all women first. So and you'll be surprised what people are capable of doing, especially when they have in quotes the perfect cover, which in most times we believe. It's a sad thing that we see these things happening in our society more frequently.
Right. And for another angle to look at this is the fact that abortion in Nigeria is illegal. Abortion is a crime, and it's an illegal practice. Now, prior to now, this idea of this grandmother bringing in a nurse, I'm going to go to the grandmother soon because I want to gather your thoughts as regards, should this grandmother be, should she get some form of, time served or some form of community service or some form of punishment for her role in all of this? Because a child is in trouble, a child runs to an adult because a child needs counsel of an adult decides to do something illegal in a bid to protect either a man of God or whatever her thought pattern is when she took the action with the daughter. Do you think that she should serve time? But that's the part of the grandmother. Where I was also going to just now is this. For this illegal abortion practice that was carried out on this child in particular, since abortion in Nigeria is, illegal as it is right now, what will be the fate of the nurse that came in to carry out this crime on this child? Especially removing, taking out a baby from a minor that is pregnant. Should there be stringent punishment for both the nurse and the grandmother for this action that has now been carried out?
Of course, there should be. I mean, it's a tricky thing. The reason why I did it was tricky is because from the grandmother's perspective, you think she would have thought she was doing the best, right? I mean, the kid is 15-year-old. If eventually gives birth, what next? There are lots of things to look at.
Right.
And she even gets that for a child. Are they financially capable of taking care of the baby? And all of that. But the fact does not take out the fact that abortion is a crime. I mean, it's the law of the land. When there are laws, we are supposed to abide by them.
Right.
So if we begin to talk slack for people, then it's as good as having no laws. That's why I said there will still have to be consequences for the actions, legal consequences, both for the grandmother, both for the nurse involved, and also the pastor that was said to have, raped her. And it's such a scary thing. I know when I have discussions about abortion with people, my opinion is not the law of the land, right? I do feel like people should have a choice. It's not white and black when it comes to bringing a child into the world. Sometimes it's not even intentional. Some couples will tell you it's not planned.
Right.
And all of that. Like I said, my opinion on this matter has always been, I think it's a 50-50 thing. Because the fact remains that Nigeria has said abortion is a crime and you can be penalized for it.
Right.
I expect people to abide by that. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your insight on that report. Nasara.